things started to change when we started directly talking to the CTOs and head of engineering or SVP of engineering. Although it is difficult to get their attention through LinkedIn campaigns or email campaigns, but once you're able to send the right message and be able to get their response, the conversion started becoming better. The path was set by some of the competitors. We know that they heavily invested on SEO and content strategy to grow their company, right? Typically, the user personas, it's a developer or tester, they're constantly looking for new tools to solve some of their pain points. And if you're able to solve them and write about them, the right keywords and the right content, you can actually be in the top of the SEO ranks, right?
Hey everybody, I'm Eric Gordon, founder and CEO of Parakeet. Here with me, I have Badri, who's the co-founder of DevAsure, and super excited to have you here. Thank you for joining and spending some time with me today. To start, would love to just learn more about you and your background, like your journey as a founder, how your business came about, and like how you got started.
Yeah, I'm a first-time founder in this. I started the company in Jan 2024. Prior to that, I spent a couple of decades in software development, in engineering leadership roles. I started out way back in 2003 with Alcatel-Lucent, which is now acquired by Nokia, and then worked in a bunch of startups and enterprises like Nokia, Motorola, British Telecom, to name a few, and a bunch of startups in between. And then most recently was with Microsoft. And throughout my career, I have worked a lot on quality engineering, DevOps, engineering productivity side of things, right? And that's where the foundation for DevAsure was also built. Like as a engineering leader, managing the quality of product, I had to deal with a lot of different problems. From a test coverage perspective, from a quality of code perspective, from managing the releases, right? A lot of different problems from tool set, from people skill set, and all that. So DevAsure was born out of the vision, out of those frustrations, the problems that I faced as an engineering leader. Whether it's startups or enterprises, it's almost literally the same. The problems are almost similar. The scale may be different, startups and enterprises, but the problems remain the same, right? The team's inability to ship their features faster, the quality issues, that crept into customers, right? And the resulting backlash that the QA teams have to face in doing root causes and stuff like that. So myself, I have two other co-founders, Divya and Santosh. They also come from a similar background. We have been working together for the last 5 to 6 years at Microsoft, and prior to that at a startup as well. So we thought we built multiple different frameworks wherever we work, performance testing frameworks, front end automation, back end automation, mobile application automation, and we used commercially available tools as well, right? But we thought there is an opportunity for us to actually go out and build something unique that is different, very different from the current market solutions, and that can significantly boost, QA teams' productivity or an engineering team's productivity, and help teams to go to market faster, right, without compromising on quality, right? Especially in this day and age, if you're not competitive, if you're not able to take your features to market faster, you're going to lose out to your competitors, right? Right, especially with Gen AI being there, right? So it is important. It's imperative, for teams to have maintained high velocity and ship their features faster to market, right? And that's what the DevAsure offers, and that's why that's the reason we started DevAsure, right? And it's been about 1.5 years now. Exciting journey so far. A lot of learnings as first-time founders, obviously, but we have a great set of mentors constantly mentoring us, right? Experienced entrepreneurs, serial entrepreneurs, and we are backed by a good institutional VC as well, and a couple of angels. So who keep us on the right track from a good GTM perspective and from a product perspective, right? So yeah, it's been a very exciting journey. Lots of ups and downs, but yeah, we are picking up pace as we speak. Especially this quarter has been very good. Probably our best quarter in the last 4 to 5, I mean, quarters of our existence. So yeah, that's where we are.
That's awesome, super exciting. Congratulations on the successful launch so far. Since you're fairly newer company, what has been some of the challenges earlier on? Like, what are some things that you're working on solving for now? Like, what does that look like?
Yeah, getting the ICP was the nailing the ICP, I would say, right, was probably the biggest challenge. We were a little bit all over the place in the first few months of launch in terms of our outreach to the customers, right? Both from a user persona perspective and from the domain vertical perspective. We were a bit all over the place. We were like spraying and praying. All our messages will hit the people the right kind of chord, and they'll get back to us. But yeah, we learned it, right? We kept doing that, and we did a lot of trials, and then they didn't convert eventually, right? Over the period of time, that's what we learned, who's the right person to target, and who's the right kind of teams to target, right? That took some time for us to actually nail down, maybe a couple of quarters of different experiments with different companies, different size teams, and all that. So that's the biggest challenge, I would say, especially as uh, especially as the early stage startup, right? So, and until we got some early traction from some good customers, it was difficult, to actually get people to come to demos and convert them to trials, right? So yeah, nailing down the ICP was the biggest challenge, and then converting demos into trials and trials to paid conversions. We had to do a lot of experimentation on that, but I think we currently have a fairly good idea of our target persona. It took us some time, but I think we are there right now.
Nice, nice. When you were nailing down your ICP, was it more of an exercise on how to get the right messaging,
Yeah,
or
and
that's really where
positioning
you're
as well, right? The way we wanted to position ourselves, not just as a test automation platform, but as an end-to-end test orchestration platform that not only does test automation but can actually help teams in different phases of test lifecycle, right? Test lifecycle is not a one-time activity. You have the QA engineers come in multiple different phases, right? From the moment a BRD or a Figma document is approved for development, you have them writing test cases, and the build is deployed on a staging environment. They come and do some manual testing, and then they take it up for automation, and then the whole thing goes to a release qualification process, a certification process. Right, there's a multiple stages, and the product was also was evolving over the period of 6 to 12 months, right? From an automation solution to a complete end-to-end test orchestration solution, right? So yeah, that positioning and messaging, started to make a difference the moment we started talking more in terms of metrics rather than features.
nice, nice. And would you mind sharing a little bit more about like the specific ICP, what you figured out? Like, is it a specific company size or the types of teams you're targeting? What does it look like?
Yeah, there are three or four definitions that, right? Earlier, we were targeting very early stage companies, right, with a very small engineering team. And then we realized, even though they came for demos and trials, testing and quality was never their priority, right? Getting their market traction, getting customer acquisition was their main number one focus, right? So even if they started a trial, they will never complete it, right? Some other, priority customer engagement will come, and they'll drop the trial and move on to something else, right? So the stage at which the company is in is the number one thing. And then in terms of the size of the engineering team as well, right? If it's a too small an engineering team, testing and automation is not the number one priority. Testing quality issues become a priority when the team starts to grow, say beyond a 25-member engineering team or 50-member engineering team. That's when you have a lot of different functional squads or dev squads, which starts to develop features in parallel, causes regression, quality takes a hit, and that's when testing becomes a focus, right? So that is one ICP definition that we had to figure out based on multiple trials with different types of teams. Other is obviously the nature of our application is being an on-prem application versus a cloud application. We found that fintech companies, healthcare companies, love on-prem solutions compared to cloud solution because of the data privacy that it offers, right? Most of their user data, the test data, their specification documents, everything resides in the developer environment, right? They don't have to upload anything to a third-party cloud testing environment. So the more we started talking to the fintech companies, the more we realized, okay, this is where our opportunity is. They love the on-prem solution, right? Because it gives them greater
Mhm.
flexibility and control over how they can, safeguard their user data and test data. So we started targeting more of fintech companies and healthcare companies to begin with, right? That's number two. And the third one is obviously the persona, right? initially we were targeting the middle managers, or we were taking a bottoms up approach, trying to get to the organization through the users and the middle managers. But even though they loved the product, they didn't have a lot of influence in taking the product for further steps in their sales engagement, right? So, but things started to change when we started directly talking to the CTOs and head of engineering or an SVP of engineering, right? Although it is difficult to get their attention through LinkedIn campaigns or email campaigns, but once you're able to send the right message and be able to get their response, the the conversion started becoming better. Any engineering leader, these days definitely have an AI mandate in both development and testing lifecycle to boost productivity, to operate in a lean manner, and go to market faster, right? So, reaching out to them with the right kind of messaging, right kind of positioning, how we can help them on what they can get as an ROI by investing in a tool like DevAsure, started improving our SQLs, and subsequently the demos and the trials and conversions start to happen automatically, right? So these are the three probably learnings that we had. But yeah, these things didn't happen overnight. It took us some time to to get to these places. But yeah, I mean, within a year, I think we now have a fairly good idea of whom to target. Uh, yeah,
That's pretty good. It takes some people longer than a year to figure out like ICP and messaging details. So it's not easy, and it's pretty cool that you figured it out in only a year. So you mentioned LinkedIn and email as two channels. Are those like the main channels that you're using for outreach?
Uh, in the first 6 to 9 months, yes, it was the primary channel, but we invested a lot in our SEO and content strategy, from last year, right? But SEO typically takes time to deliver results. But we have a very strong SEO and content being driven by my CEO Divya Manohar. So those starting to yield very good results from this quarter, right? We are getting very good organic leads coming to our website, looking for specific solutions that we are offering, booking demos with us, trialing and then converting, right? So earlier it
Nice.
used to be 90% of the demos and SQLs used to be completely outbound, but from April, inbound is almost like 50% now, like 50% inbound and 50% outbound. And we expect to go at an even faster rate because we've doubled down on our investment in SEO and content strategy, because that's where I think we have more qualified leads coming in. There are some USPs that we have in terms of the product as such, right? There are obvious advantages. We write a lot about them. We solve for very complex applications, unlike other tools in the market, which are good for straightforward web applications. But when it comes to automating a Canvas application or automating a Flutter web app application, our multi-agentic architecture, like converting Figma to test cases, right? There's no other tool in the market that currently does that, right? So those are
Nice.
some of those things that we write a lot about, and they are bringing us enough leads to actually grow our customer acquisition story, right? So right now, although we continue the LinkedIn outbound campaign, but long term goal is to make the inbound work more for us, and we are investing a lot on that.
Yeah, that's incredible. So it sounds like you're building a lot of niche content that your prospects are searching for,
Yep.
and they might learn about it on an article that you publish or a blog post,
Yep. Yep.
and then convert on one of those pages to learn more about
Yes.
your solution.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
SEO takes a real long time, so it's cool that you figured it out, in a short manner.
Yeah, the
That's
path was
awesome.
set by some of the competitors we know. Although they are competitors, but we know that they started 4 5 years back. But we know that they heavily invested on SEO and content strategy to grow their company, right? Because typically the user personas, if it's a developer or tester, they're constantly looking for new tools to solve some of their pain points in their test lifecycle. And if you're able to solve them and write about them with the right keywords and the right content, you can actually be in the top of the SEO ranks, right? So that's what we invested in, and that is starting to yield good results.
That's great. That's great. And so you're still running email and LinkedIn campaigns from an outbound perspective. Are those generating results for you, or like how is that
LinkedIn,
going? That sounds like
yeah, LinkedIn does. Email, I don't do it on priority. It's not my top channel, I would say, to generate leads. I had outsourced this to an agency sometime back, but right now I'm doing it myself. But I'm more focused, if you ask me, on LinkedIn. That's where I get most responses and more leads from. Yeah.
Yeah. What I love about LinkedIn is it's the only channel that has 100% delivery rate. So if you connect with someone and send them a message, there's 100% chance they get the message, and they a lot of times like get the notification on their phone. So if the messaging is right, you get a really good reply rate, good
Yeah.
response rate.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, we
It
do
also
lots of
varies. The response rate also varies with the time of approach. Right, beginning of the quarter, I usually get good responses, but as the quarter goes by, the attention of our decision makers is more on meeting their quarterly targets, deliverables, customer escalations, and all that. So typically, the end of quarter or the fag end of the quarter, right, is not a good time to double up on your LinkedIn campaigns because the responses tends to be low. Beginning
right.
of the quarter, because there's always a quarterly planning happening, investment in new tools is planned, and when you reach out at that time, typically I've found typically good response rates at the beginning of the quarter.
Yeah. Makes sense. Timing is everything,
Yeah,
especially in outbound,
yeah,
because you have to find them when timing is right on their end.
absolutely, absolutely.
When it's inbound, it's a different story.
Yeah.
They've found you and they've determined that timing is right. Yeah, super cool. So, what are some things that you're like working on now as it relates like building the product or innovation or like different strategies that you're developing internally?
So the product is constantly evolving. We have to be able to serve enterprise customers. We need to build a lot of integrations, for example, which is there currently, but not quite enough for targeting bigger enterprises at this point of time. So in the immediate roadmap, we will be building a bunch of integrations and augmenting our current feature capabilities and making it completely autonomous way through AI agents, right? So those are some of the priorities. We have a lot of trials going on, and we have a lot of customer enhancement requests that keep coming to us. And of course, the most important thing is to reach out to US customers. Currently, the focus is more on, I would say, India and Asia APAC regions, right? But we will have to start our US GTM very soon as well. So we'll be working on that as well in the upcoming couple of quarters. Yeah.
Nice. Would you plan to build out like a sales and marketing team in the US, or how would that work?
Yeah, eventually that's the plan, but initially it will be myself, and we already have a sales head for the India location, so we both will be doubling up on our US strategy and starting to, reach out to similar personas, similar type of companies in US. I'm not saying that we'll be exactly able to replicate the success we had in India, but again we will experiment and we will learn and we'll fail fast and we will recover fast, right? So that's the
Nice.
strategy. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. And so it sounds like right now you and your head of sales are mostly taking on like revenue growth and revenue generation.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. Does the trial require a sales call, or is it something that can be done as like a self sign up?
The product we had self sign up in the website, but we removed it consciously to filter out because we are getting a lot of unqualified people signing up, wasting a lot of our time. So we removed it, and now only people with deep intent reach out to us through a scheduled demo link or a booking a form, a web request form that comes to us with the exact set of requirements that they have, right? Why they want to book a demo, what are their pain points of problems that they're trying to solve through DevAsure, and then we reach out to them for a demo, and then we get it going, right?
Got it.
So that's the current state. If you ask me, right, the sign up link used to be there, but we started getting a lot of unqualified sign-ups, which is wasting a lot of our time trying to reach out to them, and eventually it was not of any use to us, right? So now
Mhm.
we have like even though we get less sign-ups, but we have more qualified leads coming to the pipeline.
Do you think the trade off was like a good trade off between quality and volume? And I ask that because like Parakeet we have a free trial product. And similar, like we get lots of signups, but a lot of times like they're tire kickers. They want to just see the platform and aren't super committed to like really getting things kicked off. So we've also considered, potentially changing that flow as well.
Yeah, yeah. But one of the things that I keep hearing is specifically US customers would prefer self-serve products. They probably like to have a sign-up link, to write themselves and reach out to us only if there is an absolute necessity. That's
Hmm.
the kind of use case or guidance that some of our fellow founders who have cracked the USGTM keep telling us. But yeah, I will figure out a way to see if we can enable, based on the geographies, somebody's coming in, right? But that is something to think about as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure you could flip on some like
Yeah,
um, strategic sign up flow. So,
yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
very cool. Very cool. Well, I know we're coming up on time. Badri, is there anything you want to add about like things that you're building or any specific plugs, or even if someone wants to follow your journey, what's the best place for them to follow along?
It's LinkedIn, right? That's a place where we are very active, especially the DevAsure page. We write a lot about who we are, what we are trying to do, and what's coming, right? And what's the problem we are solving, right? So LinkedIn, I try to be active, and the DevAsure company page is also very active. We write a lot of content there, and we also get leads from those content that we write, right? So the messaging, the positioning is all there. And LinkedIn, somebody wants to reach out to us, definitely they can reach out to me through LinkedIn or through our website. We keep our website updated with most of the updates, recent updates. Right. We recently got our SOC 2 certification done as well. That has actually started, giving us good organic leads from bigger companies as well. Right. So mid-size enterprises are reaching out to us now that we have SOC 2 compliance, which is like a mandatory in many organizations to adopt to any new tools, right? As
Mhm.
how as an organization we take privacy and user security seriously, right? So that also has aided our GTM this quarter. And yeah, anybody looking to reach out to us, can reach out to us through website or through LinkedIn, and that's where most of our latest updates are kept.
Amazing, amazing. Well, Badri, thank you so much for taking time today. I really appreciate it. It's great to learn more about you and your story. And congratulations on all your success so far. It's really exciting.
Thank you for your time. It's great talking to you as well.